Hey, what's up, YouTube? George here, Trading Futures Live, where we trade futures live every single day in front of the camera. We show you our winners, we show you our losers. We try and be as transparent as possible. Very quickly, trading is inherently risky and can result in the loss of capital, so please do not copy any of our trades or take any of our trades. We are here for educational purposes only. And with that being said, day 73 for us here, August 22nd, 2022. Rolling solo again, unfortunately, probably this entire week. Franco's actually out of the country. Beto's still not sleeping because of the new baby. So, going to be rolling solo for the next few days here. And but I got you guys, so we're all good. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We got less than 2 minutes left till the open. In the news, we've got nothing today. We do have some decent news later on in the week, though. Starting tomorrow with PMI, GDP on Thursday, and Powell speaks at 10 a.m. as well as PCE on Friday. So some decent news ahead. If we take a look at the markets so far overnight, we've got the close from Friday is these red dotted lines. Four major indexes are over here to the left: the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow, and the Russell. And you will notice they are all down, but a bit mixed right now. Russell and the Dow pushing down. Dow the weakest right now, pushing down through its lows at a new low right now. Russell testing the lows, but you'll see NQ pushing up, and the ES very, very, very flat. We do have the dollar has been going up. That corresponds to the down market. That's the correlation there. Up dollar means it's not good for the market. So at least we're aligned there. And we will, as always, keep a little bit of an eye on the dollar as one of our internals. And then we've got the VIX. VIX gapped up. Of course, we did gap down and push straight down. So VIX gapped up, but has been chopping around since the early morning. Let's take a look at the internals, because we are... Oh, no, we're not open yet. Wanted to see where the internals opened up. Do expect the internals to open up in extreme negative territory. I mean, they closed at negative 2,400 up here on Friday, but they're going to open way below that. At least they should. And they did not. That is very interesting. This should give us a huge rundown here. They did not. I was expecting them to open up way down here in negative 2,500. I mean, the ES did open up in extreme territory. Negative 2,000, 2,100 there is extreme territory. We do have the tick charts at very negative extremes, negative 1,500. And opening up way down here, negative 1,400 on the NQ. There we go. This makes much more sense. That's what I was waiting for on the NQ. Pushing way down here to negative 2,500. That opening up here at negative 400 was BS. That was purely BS. So certainly negative sentiment right now, but we're going to give this a few minutes to figure itself out, see if we can establish some sort of trend here. Do we continue to push down? Do the tick charts hold in extreme negative territory? Or do they come and test the zero line pretty quickly and start trending upwards towards positive territory? It's not necessarily what I expect, because we're in such negative territory. I would expect the tick chart to hold below the zero lines for at least the first 30 minutes. I would not necessarily expect this. If we do see this pop up into positive territory and for whatever reason hold up here, that would certainly be bullish for the market. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Lower than average volume, I'm going to say, as soon as this 2 minute closes in 5 more seconds. Yeah, 12,000, 12.5 is not, that's below average for me. My average is about 15,000 here on the first 2 minute candle. We'll see what happens on the 5 minute candle, where we are. But other than the other than the push down and the fact that the markets are opening down over 1%, right? 1% on the Dow, 1.25% on the S&P, 1.5% on the Nasdaq. Other than the fact that they're opening down, there wasn't really any major news event today to give us that push and to make it a high volume day. So, as usual, we will stay patient. If you guys watch the pre-market, I've got a few if-then statements here on the 1 hour chart. I've got pretty decent supply and demand levels that need to be respected. So my bias is neutral bearish, and so I'm going to be a bit more aggressive to the downside. But to the long side, I'm going to need to be very patient. I'm going to need to see certainly a turnaround from the internals before I look to try and get long. Really, if the market breaks out long here early, my first long possibility, if we just start to go straight up, is it would have to come up into Friday's lows, which is here. Need to come up here into Friday's lows and have a nice pullback. And then a breakout above and hold above for me to start to get long. Other than that, in these zones up here, I'm going to be looking more for shorts or reactions off of those levels if it holds below, and then we take it back down. Now to the downside, a bit more aggressive, like I said, I would be looking, if we get a nice clean solid breakout here, which we're trying to get it right now, any type of like micro pullback, I'm going to want to try and get in short, and I need to try and get in short early because it's already run quite a bit, right, in the overnight. And so can it do another 40 or 50 points? Yes, but it's only got about 18 points left on the daily ATR, or at least it did in the pre-market. And so I'm going to be a bit more aggressive here to the downside. Got about 12 seconds left in this 5-minute. We're going to have a decent 5-minute volume. I think 25,000 is about average. All right, new 5-minute. I'm going to go back to this 2-minute, though. 5-minute close below. That's a heck of a selling candle there. And it did close. I'm going to set up a short already, guys. Not sure if it'll pull back to get it, so we're going to end up chasing this, unfortunately. Let's, it's going to be 8.5 points there. I have this set up. Is this even gonna? Nope. There we go. All right, let's see if we get some kind of pullback here. I'm going to go 74, stop above the opening price there. Decent protection there. 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Take a quick look at these internals. Advanced declines continue to push down. Dollar's pushing up. VIX is pushing up. Do have the tick charts pushing up right now. The price is coming down.
Order submitted.
All right, my order is submitted. I may, depending when this 2-minute candle closes, I may bring this order down some. depending on where it closes. Could this be a false breakout? Absolutely, but again, my bias is it's not short. I am neutral short, neutral bearish. And so I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive to the downside than I am to any longs right now. Got about 2 minutes left in this 5 minute. I'm going to leave the order here for now. Got 45 seconds here. If I don't get filled in this 5 minute candle, I think I'm actually going to pull this order back some to get a better fill on a pullback. But I might also then just set up a breakout order here. So I am actually going to do that. I'm going to pull this order back. Just another 1.5 and then I think I'm going to set up a breakout order here. So I'm going to clear that. I'm going to short. I'm going to risk that this entire 2 minute candle there on the breakout. We're looking at 9 points of risk. Let's move this down and find 2 to 1. Three to 1 is going to be a bit more aggressive on this trade. All right, guys, I'm going to set this order as well.
Order submitted.
Take another look at these internals here. Push back up to the 0 line. We are starting to roll over here on the advanced decline. Dollar's continuing to push up, though. Do need the VIX to continue to push up. Good morning, Python. Good morning, everyone. All right, guys, I've got 2 orders on both shorts. Got a limit order set up. If it does pull back, But if it doesn't, I have a breakout order set here. My bias is more bearish than anything, and so had a nice clean break in the first 5 minutes. Duplicate, move this up here. All the markets are pulling back right now, though. I might actually pull this. I'm gonna move this order up right now. See how far this 5 minute wants to pull back. The internals are, although we do have the dollar pushing up, the VIX is starting to push back down, and the advanced declines are pushing up right now. And there's no market pushing down right now. They all did their false breakout and have all recovered. There's nothing pushing down to say I could follow this market here in the ES or something right now. None of that. Now I don't want to get caught in a false breakout, so I'm going to take this order. I'm just going to move this order up for now, like way up there. Make it a little less confusing there. So we would have gotten filled there. My entry was 75.5. 45 seconds in this first 15 minute. And if we look at the 15 minute, right, huge rejection off of here. And so a little bit of hesitation on this pullback. Would have preferred to have gotten in on the breakout, even though it was a worse fill. Dollar is screaming up right now, though. That's a strong push right there above the highs. The VIX, though, is coming down. After it did shoot up, if you guys remember, it spent last week basically between 19 and 21 on the VIX, and we're up at 23. Gapped up above 22, and we've been holding basically at 23 in this pre-market, or in the pre-market. Tick charts continuing to trend upwards. Advanced supply and rolling back over to the upside. New 15 minute. I would still like to get in short somewhere up here, but I'm going to need to wait for some price action now. Again, no market leading right now to the downside. The ES is likely the weakest one since the open. It's the only one that's really below the overnight low and holding below there. The rest of them are starting to push now. Nice strong push down on the internals. All right, I'm going to move this order back down to my original 74. Stop above still the open. And if not, we'll get in on a breakout. So this was my original pullback level, which was the range of the opening first 2-minute candle there. See if we get a pullback to there or not. Again, strong pushes on the tick chart. So we are giving up about 7 points between the two entries, but like I've said in the past, I like Uber confirmations. I like confirmations on confirmations on. All right, the Dow, the Nasdaq are also starting to push a little bit. Same here as the ES, trying to test those lows again. The Russell, though, is holding strong. All right, NQ's pushing. I think NQ just broke that low as well. The Dow has not yet. Russell's finally starting to try and push down. Let's see. Let me take this other order off.
Order canceled.
Oh wow, I took the wrong.
Order canceled.
Jesus. I took the wrong order off. Why is nothing showing up down here on the P&L? There we go. All right, I need to apply an exit strategy to this because I canceled the wrong ones. Okay, let's make some adjustments here. We're going to scale out there. 50. That'll be my exit strategy there. Although, no, I'm going to get out of 4 of my contracts. I'm going to get out of 4 of the 5 at 2 to 1, and then just leave the last contract at 3 to 1. All right, go ahead and take a screenshot of this for the journal. Dollar continues to scream up. I do have the internals though starting to can even call it trending up, riding the 21 EMA back to the upside, tick charts pushing to a new high. See what kind of reaction it gets here off of the 0 line. The dollar screaming up. The VIX fairly flat here. Five minutes left in this first 30. So potentially another false breakout there to the downside. And potentially for me, especially if I get stopped out, another false breakout to the downside, and that could change my sentiment for my next trade to be long. We do have the Dow now holding lower than the other 4 markets. The NQ and the ES were the first ones to break out to a new low there, followed by the Dow. And it is now holding down at those lows where none of the other markets are. And so, not the best entry. We've got to survive the pullback. We have got to survive the pullback. Not the best stop location. If you remember when I set this trade for the breakout, it was when price was here before this pullback. So in all reality, I should have made some adjustments to this new pivot here, because that's most certainly my best area of protection. But like I talked about last week, let me see how that would affect. I put my stop above that pivot there. It's 1 less contract. So that would be a full 12-point stop. Let me do the math. I'm risking about 250 in this trade, but if I move it, and we're right around the 300. Or right at 300 if I move it. So instead of the 250 in this trade, I'm going to risk 300 and at least give myself a fighting chance with this pivot here. So I talked last week about I'm very good about not moving my stop. I don't consider that like I'm moving my stop because I'm praying that price turns around and goes in my direction. No, I didn't exactly set up the trade properly after it made that pullback and then came back down and filled me out. And so taking a calculated risk, I was risking 250 instead. Now I'm going to risk 300, but I have better protection. If your trade isn't protected by any levels, then you're just asking to get stopped out. And I could certainly still get stopped out. My stop isn't in a great position because everyone else's stop is behind this pivot. The ideal scenario was the limit entry over at 74, 75 up here so that my stop was up above all of this mess. But it is what it is at this point. Can't cry over spilled milk. So what you'll also notice essentially is that my new stop level, I'm not going to move my targets because the daily ATR is basically down to this first target here. So this is an extension out of that. And so instead of it being a 2-to-1 trade, we're looking at a 1.5-to-1 trade at my first target. So now that I've made this adjustment, I need to take a new screenshot for the journal. How many of you guys out there journal? How many of you guys started using Edgewonk? Hey, good morning, Xavier. So we're in this short. We had a huge run in the overnight without us. If you watch the pre-market, I actually tried to get in last night. I had a limit order set. Man, I think it was basically the top, like, I didn't have this zone drawn out yesterday, but it was basically like right around this high. And to go short, stop above the gap. So my stop was essentially up here, gap and go. It broke down, pulled back, didn't fill me in by, I don't know, I want to say like less than a point. And see you later from there. And since the open, clean breakout, pull back. I had a limit order here. Was scared out of it from the internals, unfortunately. Something I need to get better at, right? Having confidence in my trade plan and my trade setup. Because I would have had a much better entry already at, would have probably already been at 1-to-1. Yeah. And so we'll see. Gonna let this trade work out if you're just joining us. Normally my targets are 2-to-1. Here you'll see right now it's 1.5-to-1. When I originally set up this trade to go short below this breakout, I set it up while it was here, and my stop was right around here, risking this entire 2-minute candle there. But it pulled back before filling me in, and really my best protection, not my best protection, but my first level of protection in this trade is now this pivot, so I had to move my stop up behind the pivot. My best level of protection is above this sideways mess up here, which is where my stop was if I would have gotten in limit on this pullback here that I got chickened out of, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the internals here. Advanced Klein looking like it wants to trend upwards here on the NYSE. Advanced Klein here on the NQ is a bit less convincing of that. Pretty sideways there. We do have the dollar that shot up, but it is, and we didn't get much of a move though, unfortunately. So that's not a good sign for this trade necessarily, is that during this run up, none of the indexes went down. They went down slightly, but they're essentially sideways compared to this dollar. And so now with a pullback to the downside, we'll likely see a strong push up, which we're getting here on the tick charts, to new highs to the zero line there on the trade. So not necessarily a good signal for the trade. The dollar having plenty of room to pull back to right now. Dollar's got plenty of room to go back to test these highs if it wants to. There really is nothing else recent anyway for it to pull back to. So if it does want to pull all the way back, very likely going to get stopped out of this trade. And all four major indexes are essentially doing the same thing. They all broke out and are all just sideways hanging out. There's no leader right now to the downside to say we just need to hold out long enough to break down and follow the leader. That's not happening right now. Yes, sir. Bulls absorption. I mean, I'm sure there are people that got to the market this morning at the open and said, wow, we're at a really good price. I mean, I had a huge drop in the overnight, gap down. And so maybe we just have some buyers here averaging down in their positions or averaging into their positions on this pullback in the overnight. And then we have the shorts just getting out of their positions, so buying those positions back. My sentiment is certainly still short, though. I mean, we gapped down, we broke down, we opened, we broke down, we're holding below everything. So it's not like I want to be long right now. On the 4 hour, let me hide this though, it's a little bit. On the 4 hour, I have a level down here to get to 41.55. So first target is inside of that zone. but on the 4-hour, some room to this level here. On the 1-hour, I have a level here, but my next level's below my, right, I do have this level here that we're not very far from, which just coincides with these highs from a few weeks back, because we already broke through this high cleanly, and now we're testing these highs here. And then below that, really, I have this level down here, which is below my 2 targets, so certainly room to run. And then if we look at the daily, breaking through the 200 EMA here to the downside, you'll remember last week we talked about the 200 SMA up here on the daily that we had a nice rejection off of to close the week. And on the daily, let me hide this as well. On the daily here, we're in this level that we absorbed a bunch of orders in. I mean, there was a ton of consolidation here. This is very obviously a level that the ES likes to consolidate at. We had consolidation back here in late June, or sorry, early June. And it was these lows from as far back as March. So certainly an area that price likes to come back and test and even hang out at. And so I can see us engulfing this entire daily candle today. It would be outside of the daily ATR range, but we did contract in the ATR in last week, in these much smaller candles from last week. So could be a day for range expansion of that ATR. So I can see us coming to 41.30, 41.20, testing these lows before maybe chopping around for the next few days, waiting for Powell to speak on Friday. Tick chart is looking a little bit better for me here. Starting to make made that high recently, but starting to reject off there. The advanced decline though is still not. Want to see this advanced decline start to roll back over and come down. Same here for the NQ. And we want to see this dollar continue to push up. All right, we're going to push there from the NQ to the downside. It's making a new low right now. We broke out there. Not holding though. But we do have the Russell finally starting to push back down, as well as the Dow. So a good sign for us in our trade. We would love to see all 4 of these breaking down together. Give us a little bit more confidence in our trade. That's the NQ. Let's go to the ES here. Come on. Anybody in? So the NQ right now is the only one holding down. New 15. Decently bearish closes from all four major indexes, but they just didn't they didn't close below on the Russell or the Dow. So still trying to hold strong there at the lows on those markets. I like to see them close below and push down. Again, tick chart's looking better, but this advanced decline not helping. Certainly want to see this start to roll back over and come down. Not a good sign there from the advanced decline. Breaking up. See if the tick chart holds. Or if we break up to new highs here. All right, with this push, we're getting some assistance from the Dow right now, breaking to a new low. And Q at its low. No follow through. No follow through. which is fine. I'll take the slow grind down. I'm okay with that. Russell's the only one not breaking down. Still not getting any good signal here from the advanced climb. Advanced climb continues to climb higher. But good signals from the dollar. We want to see the dollar break to a new high there. VIX pushing up. Tick chart here holding below the zero. Tick chart on the NQ holding below the zero. I would just like to see this advanced climb come and break this 21 EMA there back to the downside. And give us the last push to target. Yeah, James. Could definitely get a relief bump before continuing down. That's why I'm not aggressive ever moving my stop down to break even, because it's gonna pull back. It's gonna pull back. I still don't even like where my stop is. I would want my stop to be above this mess up here, somewhere up around 87. But we're gonna stay patient, let this trade play out. Lee, how's it going? I use Ninja Trader. And then for the internals, I use TradingView. Here and here. Still waiting on the Russell. It's basically at the low right now. At the low right now there on the Russell. That's a new low there on the Russell. So all four markets there pushing down. Dollar pushing up. VIX pushing up. It's definitely what we want to see on this screen. This screen is also looking pretty good, except the advanced decline. I want to see the advanced decline roll over, break through this 21 EMA, start to create a new trend downwards. Getting an extreme push here on the tick chart. Breaking to a new low since the after the first 10 minutes of the open. Right, I certainly don't consider the first couple of candles any significant level. We opened up at such an extreme, right? I consider this the new low here, and we just broke it. So to me, we just set a new low. Advanced decline finally starting to break through. Russell is pushing down hard now. Very nice. So we just cleared about 1-to-1 there. Still going to stay patient with my stop, though. If we get some sort of strong reversal candle, that's when I'll move my stop. But for now, we're just going to let this come down as far as it wants. Trade-O-Bait. I haven't heard of Trade-O-Bait. Feeling like a vampire when that TV screen pops up. I'm a bit too slow for that joke, though. Trade-O-Bait. I've heard of Trade-O-Bait. I don't know anybody that uses it, and so I couldn't tell you anything about it, to tell you the truth. I've never even been on their website. All I've ever used is TradeStation, NinjaTrader, TradingView, and the Oanda platform for Forex, which was essentially TradingView as well. And MetaTrader for Forex as well, but I never used MetaTrader in any real capacity. It was more so early on demo trading and whatnot. All right, that push down had a decent amount of volume in it as well, which gives me a little bit of pause that this might be running out of steam. So, I mean, we're just going to wait and stay patient. We do have 3 minutes till the new 30-minute candle. But I'm not going to make any changes to my trade right now. I'm going to stay patient. Four-hour did come down into this level. I don't necessarily expect a reaction necessarily right off the top of this level, though. I do expect price to come in here. If it does want to reverse from this level, it's not going to, I don't expect such a quick reaction off. It's going to need to spend some time down here. So minute 30 for the new 30. The NQ did come to the low of this level here, though. New 30. We can certainly expect some type of pullback here. Still will not be moving my stop. But if we do start to break 15-minute candles, this one, and especially the second one, the high of that is 41.70.50. 41.70.50. It's right around here. I can certainly see myself moving the stop down right above this pivot. For the moment, though, we are going to stay patient. We are getting a strong move on the tick chart right now. New highs on the tick chart on the ES, not yet on the NQ. I do not want to see this advanced decline start to form a couple of green, large green candles. One or two I'd be okay with, but I'd want to see it turn right back around from that. I do not want to see like 3 or 4. Absolutely not. Dollar starting to push back down though. See if we get a break through these lows and see if it wants to retest something down here, or do we get rejected off of these lows and push back up? The VIX is at some highs right now that if we go to a higher time frame on it, let's do the, you can just go look at the 4-hour. It's back at levels it hasn't been in since August 3rd. So about 3 weeks ago. We had high volume here on this 2-minute buying candle there, rejection candle. See if we get a breakthrough. But signs like this are signs to me that this is going to start to run out of steam soon. I could have even thought about taking one contract off down here at a 1-to-1 when the 30-minute candle closed. but not in any rush to micromanage this trade right now. A better entry, though, would have already hit my 2R target. So my limit order entry up here at 74, or even my second one at 75.50, but my first one at 74, we would have already yielded 2 to 1. And we are basically at already the daily ATR. Oh yeah, daily ATR 64. I thought it was 69. That was last week. So we've already done 68 points. The daily ATR is 64, so we've already exceeded the daily ATR. And we're getting another buying candle here with some decent volume in it. A little bit more hesitation that it's giving me. That we're getting close to the lows. Another strong push on the tick chart here. Made a high, came back down to test the lows, getting rejected off very strongly to the upside. So we might be running out of steam here. Still wouldn't want to be long, though. That's for sure. Ah, the all white. Oh, sorry about that. I can make it dark. And I need to if I refresh this screen, I think it will make it dark. There you go, James. Nice. 25 tricks, Xavier. Six and a quarter points. It's going to take me a little getting used to looking at this dark trading V chart, though. But you don't want to see this advanced decline push up. Do like the rejection there off of the tick chart, but overall this is more giving me the sentiment that this wants to roll back over to the upside, and that we are running out of steam here. And where was 1 to 1? 1 to 1 was 55. So the low there. I'm gonna scale out of one contract here. If it pulls back to the 55, that's 1 to 1. Reduce my risk in this trade. Ideally, like I said a few minutes ago, I would have. You guys have heard me in the past at the new 30-minute candle scale out with one contract. There wasn't really any signal yet at that point, though, on any of the internals. And we had the four major indexes finally break out in conjunction, so I wasn't in a rush to scale out at all. But these two buying candles there with good volume, that one and that one with good volume down here, to me means that buyers have started to step in here. Gotcha. All right, we're getting pushes there on the tick chart. Again, new highs. So my first indication that this wanted to roll over. This first 2-minute candle there, high volume. Second 2-minute candle, high volume. The internals are starting to make new highs here. Bit late on the trade management, scale out of one contract. Still my best stop point is where it's at right now. And a strong push on the Russell. The other indexes here. This 15-minute candle's trying to engulf the previous one. Three minutes left in this 15-minute. We'll see if this 15-minute candle gets broken. The high of this 15-minute candle gets broken there. I'll need to make a decision on whether I'm going to move my stop or not. I'll want to see exactly what the internals are doing at that point. But the Russell has completely engulfed that previous 15-minute candle as of now. Still not the best execution, right? I had a limit order up here on this pullback that I took off to get in on the breakout. I do like, I'm not very good with limit orders. I do not have very good confidence in taking limit orders, and so certainly something that I'm working on. And I've actually improved tremendously at it, but it is still very much a weakness of mine is having confidence in limit orders. I feel much more comfortable getting in on breakouts. Unfortunately, those are worse entries, right? I would have already hit 2-to-1 target. I'd likely maybe even be completely out of this trade, already up 2-to-1 if I would have left my limit order. So I'm gonna need to make a very good note of that in my journal today. Trend on the internals has certainly become long now. Tick chart, advanced decline, new highs, 21 EMA holding, false break below, strong push back up. Like I said, I do not want to see 3 or 4 large green candles leaving this area there like it is. New highs on the tick chart, did pull back but did not come back to any extreme lows here, so certainly trending higher highs, higher lows there on the tick chart. Dollar is pushing to its high. It's the only good signal. The only thing in our favor right now is that, because even the VIX is coming down. So again, we're going to see if this 15-minute candle on the here holds, and if it does not hold, I'll see if I exit this trade break even, or just maybe reduce my risk here in half. Beyond this pivot here, it would go to 73. Unfortunately, there are a gazillion other stops there, so that isn't really a great option. And so for now, we wait. I am going to leave that scale out there of one contract. Because of the time of day, 10:50. We've already put in the first hour. That is the lows down here are the lows of the first hour. Well, this is the low of the first hour. We did break out of that, but so the lows at and around 10:30 after the first hour could be the low of the day. I don't expect this to be the low of the day, but it could be, and so I'm still going to scale out of this one contract just in case it comes back to test this low to turn around. And then what I may do, because if it does break there, we do get another solid break, I can see it running down to this level. So I will likely split up these four contracts, keep two of them here at 1.5 to 1, scale out of the other two here at 2 to 1, and try and get the full 1.5 to 1 out of this trade. Strong pushes on the tick chart right now. Sometimes I wish I traded the NQ, because the NQ is... The internals on the NQ are certainly better than the internals on the ES. The ES tick charts are very similar, and I'm semi-okay with the tick chart on the NYSE here on the left. It's just this advanced decline is much more bullish here on the NYSE than it is here on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is bearish. ES is bullish. But did push back down to the lows, especially here on the NQ. I'd like to see a continued push down in this move to these lows here. The VIX popped back up, so that's in our short favor. Dollar did pop to that new high there, also in our favor. Again, like to see this freaking advanced decline roll back through this 21 EMA there. Come on back. Right. All right, so my scale out there is adjusted. And we wait. what I will say at this point is that if price does turn around here, my stop will very likely be moved to break even. I don't like moving it just yet. I don't want to give anybody any reason to come back for me. I want to be ideally I want my stop to be so far off the screen that it doesn't register in anybody's radar. But we've created a nice pivot there that if it breaks above that, I'll likely just get out of this trade break even. If you take a look at the 15-minute, right, we'll have had two 15-minute candles there that it would be breaking. No 30-minute though, so no 30-minute protection because of the previous 30-minute high would be above break even. But we wait. Yeah, I agree there, James. I think we could make it down here. If we break this low, we're going to get another nice impulse down. I even expect there to be quite a few stops here if people had got in long. I mean, this is also people taking profits on shorts, this pullback there, but this is also some people jumping in longs on these buying candles there with the volume. So that little pop right there was a bunch of stops below there. See if we get follow through. I would love to get follow through and hit these two contracts. Then I will move my stop to break even and let the rest of the trade play out. Want to see 41.55 snap downside. Yeah. Agreed. Are you in it? Yeah, I mean this this trend line that we've already broken gave me some concern there. Trending down nicely, broke it, retesting it right now. Needs to break through there. Wow, the VIX just freaking shot up. Now the VIX is a tradable chart, So there was obviously a ton of breakout orders above 2350 here, maybe even some stops there above the 2350, but the VIX up is right, short the VIX. Short the VIX doesn't actually mean short the VIX. It means when the VIX is going up, you short the market. So hopefully if you're in this short. And again, the internals from the NQ are the better internals today. I don't trade the NQ. That's Franco and Beto. NQ's a little too volatile for me, although I have been thinking recently that that probably when the VIX is below 20 is when I will start trading the NQ. On days where the VIX is below 20 and volatility is low, I will trade the NQ because it has a little bit more movement and a little bit more profit potential that you don't get on the ES when the volatility is so low. See if we can get a full rollover here on the advanced decline for the NYSE. That would be good for my trade. But we're going to pull back now on the tick chart. I'd love to see it come to the zero line and pop back down. I don't want to see it. Certainly don't want to see it making new highs. That is absolutely not what we want. And the other markets, unfortunately, the Russell not breaking down. The Dow breaking down, but only ever so slightly. No sustained push there on that last 15 minute. Basically just went and retested the low. Same with the Russell. NQ and the ES are the weakest. Fortunately, we are in one of them. And with better execution and a better trade entry, we would have already been at target. So something I'm going to need to work on is confidence in my setups and confidence in my trades and limit orders so that I don't have to suffer through this trade the way I am right now. No love from the internals here. Popping on the advanced decline, popping here on the tick chart. We are getting deep into this daily level there. Getting another push on the dollar here. Getting no love from the advanced decline on the NYSE. Would much prefer to be in the NQ. But we're going to stay patient. Q continues pushing there to a new low. See if we can get follow through from the ES. The Russell and the Dow though are green buying 15-minute candles. Got about a minute 45 left in the 15-minute. See if we get a reversal on the new 15-minute back to the downside. Man, a bullish engulfing candle from the Dow on the 15-minute. Not great. Didn't completely engulf in the Russell, but pretty damn close. No love from the internals other than the dollar. The rest of these are becoming decidedly long, other than the advanced decline here. Running up quite hard on what I would consider my last line of defense. These 15 pivot by the 15-minute candle. Really a 30-minute pivot. The last 30 minutes there. We're in pretty good pushes from the Dow and the Russell. Already breaking those two 15-minute candles there. Not just, there we go. Broke it on the Russell. NQ is the most protection. Starting to see some rejection from the Dow. Nothing from the Russell yet, though. And the advanced decline for this NYSE. Good Lord. Just not seeing that on the chart, though. Just the weird part. Right, we're not seeing that move on the actual chart. Got the dollar continuing to push up. But this tick chart is no longer hanging out in negative territory. The midline over the last 20-30 minutes is up at the zero, where for the first hour and a half, it was midline was, I'd say, down here in negative territory. So we need to see it start to come back down to these lows and hang out between the zero and these lows and bring the midline back down to negative territory. Got about 3 minutes left in this 30. That'll mark 2 hours since the open. Dollar's pushing up pretty hard right there. I mean, the truth is, there's just not much volatility today. There's not much, not much. Not really any large waves in this pullback to roll over and make a new low. Oof, Russell's pushing strong. Strong push here from the Russell. About 10 seconds left in this 30. Is that the pullback in this hourly candle to continue lower. Is that a nice sort of 15-minute indecision candle there to break the low and push back down? It gave rejection candles on 3 of the 4 markets, all of them except the Russell here. But rejection candle on the Dow, rejection candle on the NQ, and a very small rejection candle there on the ES. I think if we see a push down here on the Russell, and the rest of the market's coming back down, see if we get a push to my first target there. I have already scaled out of this with 1 contract at 1-to-1. My second target here is 1.5-to-1 with 2 of my 4 remaining contracts. Final target is 2-to-1. So 1.5-to-1 and 2-to-1. Not my normal 2-to-1 trade, because I had to make an adjustment to my stop after I entered the trade. Thank you, Courtney. Not nice just yet, though. Not a bad trade. A better entry. I don't know how long you've been watching us, but I had 2 entries, 2 potential entries when price broke down here. My first one was actually a limit order that I had originally set at 41.74 on a pullback after the candle closed up here. But as the new 15-minute candle was coming to a close, I moved it up, and then I moved it way out of range because of the volatility of the first 15-minute candle, or of the new 15-minute candle. Unfortunately, that entry, if I wouldn't have chickened out of it, I would have already been out of this trade 2-to-1, because my second entry choice or option was a breakout down here, which is where I eventually got filled. So if I would have gotten in even at 74 down here on my first limit order setup with my stop up above here, would have already been 2-to-1, and we wouldn't be stressing about this trade. So we're certainly getting plenty of signals that this wants to try and roll back over to the upside. Like I said, around 10:30, that this could have been the low of the day. And so, low, new low. See you later. Is that what's going to happen? I'm contemplating getting, I don't know, not even gonna say what I'm contemplating. All right, I'm getting pushes on all 4 markets right now to the upside. So we had the 15-minute rejection candles. Breaks above those rejection candles, I'll likely close this trade, move my stop to break even, maybe even move my targets up to 1-to-1, see if we get a last ditch push down. Sounds like you're just joining us for the first time maybe today, Courtney. Normally there's one or two other guys on here with me. One's out of the country, one just had a baby. So normally there's two or three of us on here. Franco and Beto, they trade the NQ, I trade the ES, and we try and show you our trades live. We try and show you our winners and our losers. We try and be as transparent as possible. And then we do a daily recap later on in the afternoon on whatever trades we ended up taking. And we also do a pre-market analysis every day at 9 a.m. Eastern before we go live. All right, so we broke these highs there. Got way too much time left in this 15-minute candle. This can just go for a run. This can go for a nice run without me. So I've got this pivot here, but my next level of protection is really this pivot up here, which would only be reducing my my risk in half. And so I can't take a loss on this trade after under normal circumstances. If we were earlier on in the trade, I'd potentially still be leaving my stop where it is, but with no follow through after essentially I've been in this trade almost 2 hours. In about another 10 or 15 minutes, I would have been in this trade for 2 hours. And so I think we're coming up on moving my stop 67. Put it at 66.50. Cover some commission costs and whatnot. I got out of one contract at a 1-to-1, which is this $55. But never even got to 1.5-to-1. Of course, my entry wasn't great. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, our recaps aren't our recaps don't necessarily, we don't go over like exactly what happened in the markets, and it's not a recap of what happened in the markets. It's a recap of our trading, just to show you our mindset getting into the trade, throughout the trade, how we managed it, and so something a little bit different, I think, than other channels out there. James got back in short. Target down to new lows. Let's see. You're not going to hear me complaining about that. So rising wedge. Guessing you got this here. No love on the internals right now, though. None. None, none, none. None, 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 none. And we're so overextended on this 15-minute. These 4 candles down. With the EMA quite a ways back. Yeah, slow grind down. It's another one of those days that I don't like waking up to when the market's already moved 1% in the overnight. Like I said earlier, also I tried to get in it. Tried to get in it last night. We had the breakdown. I had a limit order set up here at basically the high of this candle. Pulled back, but did not fill. My stop was above the gap, and it was, I believe it was up this, above that that wick there. And when I woke up, it had gone through what would have been all of, well, I had 2 targets set up on it, both targets. And then we opened, woke up down 1%. Again, not what I like to see. Less opportunity for it to make a run during the session because it had already exhausted the daily ATR. Or it had already exhausted a good percentage of the daily ATR at that point, and we completed it in this last run down. Minute 30 in this 15. Staying on much longer than usual today, guys. In fact, I think I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to leave the live session on. I'm going to turn off my camera and my mic, though. Step away. I've already moved my stop. Go get grab a glass of water, stretch a little bit, come back in a couple of minutes. But all right, I'm going to put you guys on mute, put myself on mute. I'll come back before 12 for sure. See what's going on for the new hourly candle. Catch you guys in a few. If we get the price to roll back over. Really, I'd like to see some larger red candles here, though. Solid breaks below the 21 EMA there. Like to see the same thing from the NQ. The NQ is getting kind of strong. It's been pushing up in this last 15 minutes stronger than any other market. You have quite a nice trend line forming. Well, that has formed there. 5 minutes left in this hour. That's what that is. Love to see a break of that trend line. Broke those 230s. Broke all of these 15s. About a minute 30 in this hour. I'm going to move this target up also to 1-to-1. This could very well be the low of the day down here. Could come down and retest. So I'll scale out of that as well. If we don't get stopped out here, I'll leave my last two though at 2-to-1. If we do break through here, I would expect it to be a strong push down after all of this consolidation and pullback here that we could run down to here. Especially when you look at this move. Let's pull it up on a 5-minute. When you look at this move since the open, we do Fibonacci extension here from, even if we just, not even like the highs, but if we do it, well, from the opening range high to there, and if that is the high, 100% range extension would be down to 41.35. So, like I said, if it breaks this low, I could see it certainly coming down to test this level way down here, which would be my 2-to-1 target, which would lock in about 1.5-to-1 on this trade. But as usual, I'm getting way ahead of myself on that. Way ahead of myself on that. Getting some decent rejection candles off of up here, but doesn't want to break that trend line. Love to see it break that trend line. And so we wait. Now, are the shorts still trapped like myself, or are these longs starting to get trapped? Who is trapped? I'm not trapped. I'm up, right? If I was down, then I'd be trapped. If I got short, let's say in this pullback, then I would be trapped right now. I'm not necessarily trapped. And a better entry up here where I wanted originally, I'd be perfectly fine right now. So I am not trapped. But are there shorts in these pullbacks? Right? That got in short here or right here on this breakout candle that they're trapped. And so price is trying to stop them out up here. Or are these longs, this long here, this long here, this long here, are these guys trapped for price to pull back and stop them out? And unfortunately, I'm going to say for the moment, it's the shorts that are trapped. We need a break below this trend line, and if we get a break below the trend line, now these longs are going to be trapped. We're going to want to see this 2-minute candle close below that trend line. That 2-minute candle close will coincide with the 5-minute candle. But we're also going to need to see it close below like 58. I don't want to see it close below there for the 5-minute to have also closed below the previous 5-minute. Alright, so pretty decent close and not close below that low there, which would have given me some additional confirmation there. Oh, that's the 15 minutes. Sorry. Oh, no. Okay. I mean, I still would have liked to have seen it close below that pivot there. But a nice close below that trend line on the 5-minute. And we'll also want to keep an eye on this 15-minute. Broke below the previous 15-minute. We're going to continue to get a push down. The internals gave a nice strong push down on the tick chart here. Advanced decline, a nice big red candle. I'd like to see a couple more of those though. Confirming the move and that this just isn't a fake out to the downside. We are getting a push on the Dow here and the Russell. More so than on any of these other two markets, the ES or the NQ. But hopefully, I've got no problem with these two being weak, leading my ES trade down lower. Feel free to take my trade with you. How many of you guys out there uh, watch the advanced decline and the tick? Do you guys have those charts? Or do you not have those charts? Do you like when I switch to those charts for you guys to take a look at them? I like the tick and volume for sure. And you have those charts on your own platform? The tick, especially? I do not really like in the ADD. Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I just wasn't sure. I didn't have it for the longest time until I got TradingView, but one of my mentors used it and got me to start using it, and now I use it pretty religiously. But I didn't have any access to it, so just curious if you guys wanted to see it more prominently on the screen than me just flipping back and forth randomly. Lee does not use them. And do you trade the ES and the NQ? Lee? New 15-minute while we've been chatting. Not a great close there, but it did close below the previous 15-minute. Nice, strong selling closes, bearish closes there on the Russell and the Dow. Not so much on the NQ. ES and Forex. Okay, cool. Let's see here. I need to see follow through here from the advanced decline to the downside. Do have the VIX came into this demand down here. Seeing if we push up out of there. We do have the dollar trying to roll over, but they haven't been as in sync. The markets haven't been as in sync with the dollar as I would like. Dollar's been screaming up, and we have not seen that on the charts. Yes, that was an actual house phone in this house. New 5-minute. Now I'm going to say the shorts are trapped in this run up. This is looking like it's going to be a nice run to break these highs, test the highs from the open. Pretty good run there on the tick chart to highs. That's a pretty strong run. No follow through on the advanced climb to the downside like I wanted. This is what we call trapped traders. Reversal trade potential, either on this pullback or long out of here. all of the trap shorts after this nice run down, essentially from this pivot high to this pivot low here. It's a ton of shorts in this area and from this high, and all of the stops and all of the shorts are right where mine are. So a breakthrough there, we can expect to see price now move higher. The shorts are all going to get stopped out. The buyers are going to be in control. And we can see a run up to the price at the open. First line of defense, really, at this point, is this support and resistance level. Support at the open, then it became resistance, and it's now lined up with the VWAP there. So if I get stopped out, I would expect price to make a pretty clean push up to the VWAP. $30 seconds in this 30-minute. Again, when you look at this 15, it's getting a bunch of rejections off of here and just no follow through to the downside. There's a ton of stops above this, just like mine. Not the ideal place to have a stop, but I'm not going to take a loss on this trade. I don't think I've ever been on this long. 12:30. New 30. I mean, we got all rejection candles on all four major indexes, but none of them closed below the previous 15-minute. And price very obviously is having a grand old time consolidating right here. Right around 41.60. It's having a grand old time there. See you tomorrow, Lee. Oh, real quick, guys. I will not be on Wednesday. There will be no live session on Wednesday or even a pre-market analysis. I will not be able to be in front of a computer, and Franco and Beto won't be back by then, so there will not be any live trading or pre-market analysis or even a recap on Wednesday. Nothing on Wednesday. I need to make myself a note to remind you guys again and the recap and whatnot. No news. No reason for this to go down. No, nothing. We've got PCI, PCI or PMI? PMI, flash services, PMI tomorrow. core durable goods on Wednesday. Preliminary GDP quarter over quarter and unemployment claims on Thursday. And then core PCE price index, as well as Powell speaking at the Jackson Hole Symposium. So the news is all starting tomorrow. And we already had a huge move in the overnight. We had a pretty good move since the open. We just haven't been able to take advantage of it yet. All right, guys, I'm taking off. I'm gonna leave the trade. But we all need to get on with our lives. This trade, not gonna lose any money on it. Best I can make about 1.5 R if it hits both of my targets there. But we're gonna go ahead and let this play out on its own. I'll have a daily recap for it later on this afternoon. Most likely, catch you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pre-market analysis, 9:25. We go live. Thank you guys for watching, and stay patient, people. Stay patient. Later.